Welcome back, beautiful tri-state area. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeart Radio. I'm your host, Zen Sams. Coming up in our very famous Culinary and Wine segment, this week we're featuring returning guest Peter Guimaraes, managing partner at Bice Cucina Restaurant Group and quite the celebrity himself. Today we're chatting summer in the city, what Bice Cucina has lined up, and his take on the New York City dating scene. And of course, we're going to get his take on what he really thinks about New York City's Mayor Eric Adams. Now, warm weather is officially around the corner, and it's time to snag a table under the sunshine, pull up a chair, and gather your friends, because outdoor dining in New York City is one of our favorite things to do. Biche Outdoor Patio and Bar is finally opened. They specialize in delicious, fine Italian dining in Midtown Manhattan. They're established since 1926, and they are among the busiest and most renowned Northern Italian restaurants in the United States. Dishes such as the incredible lamb chops, shaved octopus carpaccio, one of my personal favorites, ossobuco, and the seafood risotto really demonstrate the chef's skill in blending Northern Italian and American cuisine with uncompromising results. Welcoming now to the show is the amazing Peter Guimaraes. Welcome, superstar.
Wow, that place sounds amazing. I think I'm going to go there for lunch.
I love it. I love that you are in studio. You are quite the celebrity yourself. So nice to have you here, my friend.
Well, thank you for the kind words. I don't know if I'm a celebrity or whatever you want to call me, but coming from you, that's a high compliment, and thank you.
Absolutely. So conveniently, Peter, you're located up the block from us right here at iHeart headquarters, right on 55th Street, and you are in prime Midtown spot. What can we expect when dining at Biche? Talk to me about what the weekday crowd feels like versus the weekend crowd per se, and what summer events and specials are you most looking forward to?
Well, it seems like this winter was really long, right? Like everybody's just been dying to get out. People were texting me, when's the patio opening? When's the bar opening? Like, why am I going to put a bar outside? It's 55 degrees. Nobody's going to sit out there. So, this week we got everything ready. I took down the enclosure from the winter, and now we're open up for spring and our summer. I have my outdoor bar, which, people today still come and tell me that outdoor bar saved them from COVID. Not saved them from COVID, but, helped them get through the COVID experience. So as soon as people start seeing me fix up the bar, painting the sides of it and getting it ready, people get crazy. They start coming over. Last night we had the bar full, and people were excited to be out. And it's always my favorite time of the year to see people starting to come out.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, you often bring a DJ at nights and on weekends, and you turn it up for your patrons, and people do really love the vibe. I mean, celebrities are often seen enjoying themselves, and you pride yourself on your solid relationship with your VIPs. How did you get so famous yourself? Because although you would like to argue that you're not a celebrity, you do dabble in VIP status, even having ran for mayor of our great city, yet mismanaged city, and you should have won, Peter. Talk to me about that. How did you get famous?
Well, I was always involved in, the hot crowd as a young kid. I grew up in the only nightclubs in Connecticut and also in New York. So, we always had our VIPs, which kind of followed me throughout my career. I wasn't involved at the time. I was still in high school, but my partners opened up a Biche on 54th Street in 1982. And a year later, it became one of the hot spots destinations. And I would come up on the weekends to hang out, and you would see Frank Sinatra, Sammy Davis Jr., Madonna. You would see Henry Kissinger. You would just see people from all walks of life. Billy Joel, which still comes to us today before he performs at Madison Square Garden. So, it's just one of those things. And then as we became bigger, we started opening up restaurants all over the world. We're in Dubai, Istanbul, South Africa. We're in Palm Beach. We're all over Florida. And now people just recognize the name, and the celebrities that live in Palm Beach, when they see the Biche in New York, they always frequent because they know they get consistent food and treatment for whatever Biche they go to.
Oh, you are such a gracious host, and I always love coming to your restaurant. Quite often I use it as my exterior office when I leave here at iHeart. It's a very relaxing atmosphere. Peter, I want you to look directly at the camera, and I want you to tell our audience what is your favorite part of being a restaurateur in the Big Apple.
Well, I grew up in the nightclub business, and I grew up building homes. I have over 100 homes under my belt, building in Connecticut. But there was always something about the restaurant business that really excited me. And when I got the opportunity to do my own restaurant in Connecticut and then join the Biche family, I took advantage of it. And, it's there's romanticism behind the business. I've built multi-million-dollar homes, and nobody ever says, "Oh, I want to meet the construction owner." But you open up a restaurant, everybody wants to find out who you are and take pictures with you and meet you, and it's very humbling. And especially in New York City, there's 15,000 restaurants. So when you have somebody come to your space and they come back repeatedly like we do, it's very humbling that out of 15,000 restaurants, they pick you to come to, and then they repeat this action by coming again when they can go try somewhere else. So to me, it's always very humbling to have people in. Once you walk in through our front doors, you're part of our family. We don't have that snobby BS that you get in the city where the hostess shakes you up and down, looks at you, reservation, no reservation. We make room for you. We're very humble. All my patrons are humble. I have my average employee has been with me over 20 years. I have one gentleman that's been with me for 35 years. People are recognized to seeing the same faces over and over. It shows what quality space we are in restaurant, that our staff continues to stay with us all these years. So I'm enjoying it. I love it. I love the business.
Wow, you're so passionate when
I never
you
want to leave.
speak. You're so passionate when you speak. Now, talk to me about your newly relaunched Tipsy Girl wines.
Yeah, so I started Tipsy Girl a few years ago when I was on the Housewives show, The Real Housewives of New York. So don't hold that against me. It was just a platform to get my names out there. And then COVID hit. And the growers didn't stop growing grapes. The grapes still kept growing, but they didn't have any personnel. They weren't producing it. So now, last year, we received a full container from Italy with our Tipsy Girl Rosé and our Tipsy Girl Prosecco. And it's our number one selling product in wines, that is, in our Bichi restaurants. And now we're starting to build back up our platform. Our website will be live in a couple of weeks where you can buy Tipsy Girl hats and T-shirts. And
merch, baby, merch.
Merch is where it's at. And now we're starting to get full distribution instead of just in our beaches and instead of just Florida. We're starting to launch distribution in New York, Connecticut, Rhode Island. So, yeah, I'm excited to get it back on track.
Nice. Okay. So let's we have about I want to say 9 minutes in this segment right here, and before we cut to commercial break. So let's chat dating in a city of any size like New York City. No, that you're going to like this one, actually, because your restaurant is a hotspot. So dating in a city, of course, Peter, of any size is a learned sport, but dating in New York City, that does take a whole other level of dedications, patience, and as most New Yorkers know, practice. New York City is both the best and worst place to date because it's unlimited. Of course, we have unlimited options and opportunities, but Bice Cucina is a great date spot and very centrally located. No matter where I go, I meet tons of people. Although I'm not looking for potential suitors, I always tell my girlfriends, stop focusing on finding dates and instead focus on expanding your overall network, which can lead to meeting more people naturally along the way. And your restaurant is great for networking. What makes Biche a great date night spot, and what is your favorite overall dating advice in the Big Apple?
Okay, 9 minutes. Geez, I'd probably need 9 days to explain it all, but...
That's just one of another question, so...
Yeah, so I'll make it short. I'll cut to the chase. So, we do have a lot of customers that come to us and they say, we first got engaged at Biche on 54th Street, and every year on the anniversary, we come back to your restaurant. I remember seeing guys getting down on one knee in my dining room and proposing. Quietly, I'm saying, dude, get up. Don't do it. I've been there. It's not that good. But, you got to make it festive and, buy them drinks. But, yeah, we get a lot of first dates. Tinder had approached me a few years ago about doing some Tinder promotions through there, which we did. So we ended up having a lot of, people that are looking for love online and then come to Biche to explore that. It's really not that easy to find love online. And it's definitely not that easy to find love in New York City. There's that saying, right? If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. Or if you can find a girl or a guy in New York City and hold on to them, you can find them anywhere. It's a tough city.
It's definitely a tough city. And you know what they say, well, if you've ever felt like dating is a second job, you're not alone. There's actually a thing, Peter, called dating burnout. It's a real thing. And with one little mindset switch, people can actually enjoy dating instead of dreading it. I mean, I say treat every day as an opportunity to make a new friend and to discover a new cool New York City spot. And this is your opportunity to take advantage of everything this amazing city has to offer. And that's kind of the mindset I like to leave it at. And it's better to be single than to be in a relationship with the wrong person. If it was easy, it wouldn't be worth it. It only takes one person to change everything, and no one is perfect. Every date is a step closer to finding your person. So get out. Find that person, bring them to Bice Cucina, drink some wine, make some memories, but definitely I always like to steer people your way because there is a lot of romanticism in your restaurant. Now, quickly, I want to get to this next point, migrants. So, Peter, as you know, City Hall has announced that 61,000 migrants have been sent to the Big Apple in recent months, and that number is expected to increase now that Title 42 has ended. In 2017, the estimated net cost of illegal migration was approximately $116 billion. In just 5 years, the cost to Americans has increased by nearly $35 billion. And illegal immigration costs each American taxpayer $1,156 per year. So each illegal alien or U.S.-born child of illegal alien costs the U.S. close to $9,000 annually. So evidence shows that tax payments by illegal aliens cover only around 1/6 of the cost they create at all levels in the country. A large percentage of illegal aliens who work in the underground economy frequently avoid paying any income tax at all. Many illegal aliens actually receive a net cash profit through refundable tax credit programs. That's a lot of statistics against illegal aliens and asylum seekers. What is your take on the current migrant crisis, and how do you feel about how Mayor Eric Adams is running the city?
Well, so that's a 4-part answer. But, as far as the illegal migrants, when we came to this country from Portugal, we had to go through the proper channels. So I am for bringing migrants in, but they have to do it the legal way. They have to be vetted. They have to fill out the proper paperwork because, we could always use labor in New York City. After COVID, nobody wants to work. People want to be Instagram models and they want to be influencers, and nobody wants to work. And if you go into my kitchen, you don't see Paul Ryan, you don't see Michael Kennedy, you don't see Sally Struthers, you see Jose, Pablo, Juan. So these are all migrants that have come to this city. And just in case anybody's listening, they are all legal. They do have their papers. I have verification. So I don't want to get any calls after this. But, it needs to be curtailed and it needs to be vetted. It needs to be handled properly. You're a sanctuary city like everybody in New York City says, from the mayor all the way to the governor, until you're not. When you start realizing that we're not set up to handle this velocity of people coming into the city, then all of a sudden you're not a sanctuary city. So, make up your mind. You are or you're not. And now they're asking for billions of dollars from the United States government to help us in fixing the situation. So I think people need to realize that you can't be a sanctuary city. It has to be vetted properly. The wall has to go up. The border has to be secure, and neither Biden's administration or anybody in charge right now in the White House is doing anything to help the situation.
Yeah, well said. You should run again for politics because that's exactly, you hit it right on. And with little space left, the city has resorted to emergency shelters, including the New York City Police Department's former Academy building in Gramercy Park. And this is all in an effort to alleviate the strain on the metro area. Eric Adams began the process now of busing these migrants upstate in the face of local polls who have declared a state of emergency to try to block him. Specifically, Peter, Orange and Rockland counties in New York are trying to block the importation into those counties of migrants from the city, saying that they can't handle the overflux and they just don't have the resources. So this is turning to be a huge problem. To your point, it is not being vetted out. It is not being done properly. And our open border policy now it's coming at a huge cost for our safety and for our taxpayer dollars. So not so sure how this one plays out, but we'll be watching closely, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's really a simple solution. Increase the patrol at the border, finish the wall, stop letting people in, hire more patrol officers to vet these people, and let's step back. I mean, we didn't run into this problem 2 years ago. We only run into this problem now because there's underhand manipulation of these immigrants coming over because they're trying to buy their votes and they're trying to build up the voting platform, not caring for the people that are losing their lives crossing the Rio Grande or all the fentanyl that's coming in or the child trafficking. The only thing they care about is votes. And I'm disgusted with the whole process.
It's always about politics, right? Well, listen, thank you so much for coming in and giving us your fine perspective, my dear friend. You are quite the superstar, quite the celebrity, and I will definitely be coming down for a quick drink and bite.
Thank you. And as you know, I'm newly single. So if anybody's out there, you can come to Bichi. You'll see me You'll see me crying in my drink at the end of the bar.
Eligible bachelor, Peter Guimaraes.
All right.
Okay. Well, now 1.8 million people in promotion just heard that. Peter Guimaraes, eligible bachelor, head to Bichi Cucina. He's taking appointments.
But I will be vetting. I'll be doing a vetting process.
That was our famous Culinary and Wine segment. Peter, thank you so much for coming on.
And it's a pleasure always. We'll see you later.
That was returning guest Peter Guimaraes, managing partner at Bice Cucina Restaurant Group. Head to bichecucina.com, or you can check him out on the gram at Peter G for NYC or Biche Cucina Midtown. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeart Radio. We'll be right back after this.